Good morning and thank you for joining us on the program. You're welcome. We quickly take a look at what is going on in the Gambia. You will remember a couple of months ago, the former president of the Gambia, Yahya Jammeh, had an election conducted. He lost in that election. Initially admitted to hand over power to the man who won that election, now President Adama Barrow. Few weeks later, he changed his mind, claiming the election was rigged against him and that the election was influenced by certain people in the West, and he called for another election. Well, pressure from ECOWAS, led by Nigeria and a couple of other countries, and setting up ECOWAS military, who were actually ready to put all necessary measures to get him out of power. He eventually, sometime in January, handed power to the winner of that election, now President Adama Barrow, who was actually sworn in Senegal at the time, based on Yahya Jammeh's refusal to step down. What is the future of the Gambia after Yahya Jammeh? So we're looking at on the program today. And joining me is a woman from the Gambia, very outspoken about issues around the Gambia, joining us this Monday morning to do some kind of analysis of what the future will be, even now under President Adama Barrow. Maria Johnson is my guest on the show. Maria, thank you for joining us on the program today.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for taking your time to join us.
That's a pleasure.
Quickly give us what life was under Yahya Jammeh. 32 years of reign.
Yeah, 22 years actually. Yes. I will first of all take this opportunity to congratulate the President, our Excellency Adama Barrow, and the coalition team for, I would call it as a medicine, a relief, a kind of pulling us out of something. So we thank them and we congratulate them. And coming back to your question of Yahya Jammeh, 22 years ruling, fortunately for me, I knew Yahya Jammeh when I was young, before I left Gambia. And that was based on the fact that my mother was a head teacher just in the school where it's now been turned into the army camp. It's called Yundum Primary School. She was a head teacher there, and basically we lived next to the camp, the army camp, so-called army camp now. And he was one of the, one of the soldiers there that used to come to our house to have food with friends. So basically, as I knew him at that stage, I've always thought of when someone comes to your house and you really don't get on with that person. At the beginning, that's how it was with me, with Yahya Jammeh. And then when he took over Gambia, I was in England. I was a bit shocked. I was like, yes, how could that happen? And well, through a coup d'etat, he did it. And it was very hopeful when he started at the beginning. We were all looking forward to a change, because being that the president at that moment has been accused of lots of things. But at the end of the day, I think that all changed within the 22 years. We saw a bit of a difference.
What difference?
The difference is, most of it, like I said, I was abroad, but most of it was like in Gambia. Normally, if you had visited Gambia when there was the regime before that, which is called the Sadauda Kairaba, our first president, Excellency Sadauda Kairaba Jawara, we kind of had peace. When we say peace, it's like people could, you were not afraid to do anything, you understand? Based on the fact that you could be judged fairly, sympathetically, and, you could be educated at the same time on anything that you've done. But with Yahya Jammeh, his regime was based on brutality and, in the fact, let's say tyranny at most, and then moreover bullying. So he kind of started had a good kickstart in the sense that he came as, we expected him to do some changes. He tried to do some changes in some various ways that we could see, but then he ended up...
How was the economy? He had a very poor record in terms of human rights.
Yep.
He had almost zero tolerance for the opposition and for protest. Yes?
Yes, he did. What happened is I think he violated a lot of the constitution in the Gambia to his interest, of which he turned around and manipulated in his own interest and his cabinet. What he was virtually doing was he would not let people have this freedom of speech, in the sense that when you say something, you end up being jailed or being killed, as they say. I wouldn't represent saying that, but that's how he's been portrayed, and it's affected a lot of close people, that I know. And if wherever if wherever you are in opposition or say any kind of thing against him, he would do something, and that would virtually affect your family as well. So people were afraid to say anything. So he just got on. And he started implying nepotism, tribalism, and then, obviously brutality was I think that's what he lived for.
How was the economy under him?
The economy before Yahya Jammeh was good. It was very good, and it was stable. But when he came in, he started doing things like he built up a lot of schools, but he made a segregation. Like what I want to explain about the economy is the way he played his part in the economy was he built schools, but he tried to bring this religious difference in it. Like he will build Muslim schools, and he will try to say that it's from Allah's. He had a bank called a bank from Allah. Like if he's questioned about where did you get the money, how did you get the money, he would never say it. It's like basically the economic was not transparent to the Gambian people at that time when he was there. And he was like, people, whenever somebody, like if there's a certain businessman in Gambia who's got lots of money and wants to invest, he will find some way of taking that investment from that person and owning it for himself. So people were afraid to go back to Gambia, or people with money were afraid to invest in Gambia because of the uncertainty about the economy and where it will end up. Because sometimes he wasn't seen as someone who liked anybody who wants to develop or who is above him, he would put it. So he virtually made the economy go down by that, because a lot of people would not come and invest there. Or in some cases where I don't know how much proof that is, that he would only invest if he's got a background of influencing that person through him, that he could use a businessman to do something and he's doing it on his behalf, then he would encourage that person to do it.
He's been described as a man that is very fetish. How much of his spiritual life do you know? I mean, we saw him laying claim to being able to heal AIDS and cure all manner of diseases.
I think that
applying water on people. We've seen him. How much of his spiritual life do you know?
But if you say we've seen him do that, was there any proof that he's healed anybody? It's
not secret that Yahya Jammeh has held on to the fact that he is a healer, that he can heal.
Yes, he did say that, and he did display that in many ways, but there was no proof, because when that was really fascinating to me, and I had to go into it and find out. But what I came out with is like the people that he said he was healing on this AIDS scenario, none of them got well. Most of them died, and most of them, did not even get healed. So that was just some kind of, I don't know, is it infatuation, I'll say? It was just kind of some really, it was really disorderly.
So in few sentences, the Gambia under Jammeh, how would you describe it?
The Gambia under Jammeh was terrible. Was terrible. Really.
22 years.
22 years, it was terrible. And the fact that 22 years, people were asking, how could you be ruled by someone for 22 years? The answer to that is, It's because he scared the life out of people. He did. Because, like, for instance, if your daughter or child will say something, you know, like, let's say a journalist will say something about, oh, somebody has disappeared. And this disappearance happened over and over again, in the sense that somebody will, you just see somebody in black clothes come to your house and pick you up, and that was it. You'll not be told where they're gone, where he's going, you'll not see them again. And you're sitting down there thinking, are they disappeared? Have they been killed? You've got that question all over you, asking, you don't know what's happened. So these are the examples that he was taking to threaten people. When he used that, he used it to, like, when he, you know, like, obviously when your family member disappears, you can't say nothing, you can't ask. And if any of you ask a word, you got dealt with as well. So till today, even though he's not there at the moment, people are still dealing with lost people, with the fear, with the you know, with the some of them haven't got closures because they don't know where their family are, they don't know where they're killed, whether they, well, he used to have this farm called a farm in Kanilai, where he was supposedly having crocodiles in a big ditch where he threw people. So a lot of people don't know where their families are at the moment, that they haven't seen, and I would say they haven't seen for maybe 7 to 10 years.
So some have called for his prosecution after leaving the Gambia.
What do you mean, what, for his prosecution?
I mean, yeah, for him to be prosecutor for his prosecution over crimes committed within his rulership as head of the Gambia at the time. Some say now he should be prosecuted. He's committed international criminal acts.
You know,
will that be possible? Would you recommend that as a Gambian?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The fact that, obviously, I'm not a lawyer, and I wouldn't say he has to be prosecuted. We have to have some answers. There is a lot of answers being asked in Gambia. People, like I said, people have lost people. They can't find them. They don't know where they are, what had happened to them. You understand? So if a man walks out like that and just goes somewhere, and we have no answers, because this is why I believe when they say a handing over of office, a man like Yahya Jammeh did not hand over as he should hand over to the next president.
He was forced out.
He was forced out. He has to be forced out because he wasn't ready to cooperate, like we all saw. But I think with the ability that Yahya Jammeh, a lot of people did not know, with all his titles, he wasn't educated as such. So I would think, I also, I really admired the other countries that came to Gambia, like, let's say, the Nigerian president, Buhari, and the Mauritanian president, all of them that made an effort to come and talk to him. There was a sense of intelligence there, which it was really shameful for me to watch, because it was like, God knows, where did we get this president from? We all felt like that. We all Gambians felt like that, because we felt belittled. We felt like we don't know nothing. You understand? Because if somebody comes to talk to you like that, if you have some sense, you will think about it. You would not have to be forced out like that.
Would you not say that the fear of tomorrow probably made him to want to stray? Let me put you on hold. Let me quickly take this call from Martin. Martin, good morning. Thank you for joining us on the program today. You're welcome, Martin. Good morning, Martin. Thank you. I can ask you to speak out a little bit more so that I can hear you. Thank you. Go ahead and make your point.
Yeah, I want to say thank you and well done for this program, and I appreciate your guest in the station there today. I want to wish all the Gambians very well in everything that they are doing, and that I pray that this new government will go give the country the best. Because I tell you, it's a very small country, a wonderful country of wonderful people that are very, very gentle. They don't make troubles.
Exactly.
But they are very unfortunate to have been led by a very stupid in the personality for 22 years. I'm sorry to use that word, because I'm very aggrieved by African leaders when I see the way some of them just misbehave. About 2 or 3 million in population. Gambia is supposed to be heaven on earth, but it miserably just messed up the open. Look at what I'm just hearing from the beautiful lady there. It is disheartening to hear some of these things. And many of our leaders don't even learn that they need to do the best for ourselves. Africa, we need to really do the best for ourselves because the world is just it's just watching us, laughing at us, making us laughing stock all over the world, as if we are beautiful people, but just leadership is many of our wrong people just go and continue to be leaders of our nations and mess our people up. So I want to say congratulations to the new to the new
Martin.
The Gambia, I wish you guys the best. And my sister, in whatever way you can do to assist and to support and to advise even the new president, because they need is a new person. Whatever way it is support they need to make that country the best and one of the best in the world. I tell you, because you deserve that country deserve the best. That's all I can say.
Martin, you said Africa has been led by terrible leaders, but aren't the leaders from amongst the people?
Yes, they are from amongst the people.
So it means the people are also as terrible. I mean, if you have a terrible leader who has come from the people, it means some people are actually terrible.
Gambia is a peculiar case. I mean, we can say now he came in by overthrowing a government in the seat that he is coming to rescue on a mission, just like Rawlings did in Ghana. You know, so when we see them military leaders taking over from maybe a politician, a dictator, who is also a civilian dictator, many of us are helpless, but to say well done and thank you for coming in. But this person that comes in, who is a military person, now comes in the guise and start messing up and start destabilizing and start manhandling his people. That is where the sadness comes in, and it's a very sad case that Africans will continue to experience this kind of brutality amongst in the leadership of somebody we trust our lives into. So it's a very shameful and very sad thing. It's disheartening to hear all these stories about African nations. I tell you.
Do you have any expectation concerning the new president Adama Barrow now?
Everybody, the whole world has expectation. The country has potential. The lady there has said so many things. The country has potential. Gambia is a good country. It's a small country, for goodness sake. They are a tourist country that the west, the east of the world come to visit them. So what else do you want in a nation that instead of you to exploit the best and then bring the best out of the nation, then you start messing up and start doing nonsense.
All right, Martin, thank you so much for joining us on the program today. Thank you for calling and expressing your opinion. Marian, now you are of the opinion that Yahya Jammeh should be prosecuted and he should be made to answer questions for all the atrocities committed under his regime. But who's going to do that? Adama Barrow has 3 years to turn things around in the Gambia. If he has to spend time pursuing pursuing Yahya Jammeh, how would he turn things around? How would he make the economy grow? How will he salvage the country if all he had to do now is put his resources to pursue Yahya Jammeh?
Adama Barrow, as we all understand, is from a coalition team. And this coalition is made up of different parties with different views and different opinions. And I am absolutely sure this would be their first step. Because at the moment, they're building up their cabinet, which just like a few weeks ago, they've done it, and they've got a little bit more left. They have heard the Gambian people. We have voted and we spoke. And what we expect of them is in transition. With the 3 years for Adama Barrow, even if he cannot do all of what is expected of him, obviously, we would not expect that. It has to be taken step by step. And Yahya Jammeh's regime has to be addressed. It has to be addressed because it is one of the most worrying factors of all Gambians at the moment. So with the prosecution bit of it, I'm sure with the appointments of the lawyers that he's bringing up, because as we all know, Yaya destroyed the
Judiciary.
judiciary the judiciary system in Gambia. So they're trying to build that up first, and when that is done, I assure you, we will deal with Yaya Jammeh. We will, because whether dealing with Yaya Jammeh is probably a harsh way of saying it, but it is part of me exhaling anger, you know, which speaks for a lot of Gambian people, because we are all hot. Yaya has affected us in different ways. If it's not your sister, it's your cousin, it's your next door neighbor, or it's your classmate. I have had experiences in Yaya's regime, which hurts me today, but I did not have the nerve to speak about it. Because, for instance, if I say something, my mom is alive, she's in Gambia. If I open my mouth to say something as an activist, I put all of them in trouble whilst I'm here. So that was the reason why people were not speaking. They were not saying nothing, but every one of us has got an experience with Yaya's regime. You know, so basically we need answers. So that will be one of the biggest issues that Gambia has to deal with under the coalition.
What do you see as a feature of the Gambia under Barrow and beyond?
And beyond. With Barrow, I think they are well focused. The coalition, they are well focused because we've got different people there, like Halifa Saleh. We've got people like the vice president that we've got now, Mrs. Fatmata Tambajang Jallow, and we've got the other lady, we got Ahmed Fati as well, which they all learned. Whilst the last regime was just made up of whatever. He was controlling it. He wouldn't listen, because when you have a vice president, you listen to them, and when you have some ministers have to be a bit humane, you know, to know the feelings of the people. So with Adama Barrow's regime now and the coalition team, we know we're gonna get Gambia intact, because their outlook, their plans, and what we expect of them, they will do, because that is why we voted for Adama. You understand? And now what I can tell you about Gambia is, Gambia is going ahead. There's no stopping us, because all the people that he restrained, Yaya restrained, were abroad. They had to go abroad. They had no choice. And these were people who made their own money through business in Gambia. They did not come to Europe or go anywhere for money. They made up their money. People who inherited their father's wealth and stuff in Gambia, they had to leave it and run away. So all those people are intending to go back to give a hand to the coalition to help them to build the Gambia. And we know that the whole world has been watching us. They've seen our cries. Because do you think if we are not if we didn't have help from other countries like Senegal, nearby Senegal, Sierra Leone, Gambia, Nigeria, and West Africa, where would we have gone? He would just, because you could see that he was even showing tendency not to leave as well. Like he said, he's going to rule Gambia for 1 billion years. That shows you that he was not he was not up there. But now, like I said to you, I can see Gambia being one of the best places to go, because our tourist trade is one of the best in West Africa, and we have a lot of people out, like I said, outside that are very learned and ready to go and help.
Yeah. Fantastic. Miriam Johnson, thank you for sharing with us your thoughts about Jammeh,
You're welcome.
and of course the new President Adama Barrow. I will hope to bring you back again in a couple of weeks as we review the situations in the Gambia and as things unfold in the Gambia.
And I must tell you that we are having programs coming up. We're building up leadership programs here that is going to encourage kids, that is encouraging entrepreneurs to come over, and we have a round table which is called the Woynet Leadership Institute. That's what we are working at now, to bring all the entrepreneurs in England to come together so we can go back and do some apprenticeship in Gambia.
Yes. Okay, fantastic.
Thank you.
Get us involved. Let us know how we can be of support.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tunde.
And of
Thank
course,
you.
what is going on. This is how far we can go on Dialogue in Diaspora. This morning we hand you over to our newsroom as we bring to you news of events that made the week that just ended. Don't go away. Get a bit of what happened in the week that just ended. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.